Hi Lewis, hi Sue. Welcome to day 22 of COVID lockdown. How are you all?
Good morning. Feeling very good, actually, and I've stopped counting the days.
Oh, sorry to remind you then. So just so our listeners know, we'd like to introduce the lovely Lewis Rowe. Lewis owns the Devonport Car Company here in Devonport, selling cars. He's a massive car lover and is very, very knowledgeable about the car industry, and also does a weekly segment on Magic Talk, the talkback show, all about motoring. So hi Lewis, we are so pleased to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So Lewis, we are absolutely fascinated by how you are managing business at this time. We live in a community where everybody knows everybody. Obviously, business has been impacted to a huge degree. How are you managing, and what is the outlook for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a really tough but also very crucial time for a lot of people in business, especially small, medium businesses. I think, first of all, I'd say that I feel very fortunate that I own my business in this area, in this location. We already have a community that really likes to support support local businesses, which is such a great thing to have, because there are many parts of Auckland that, you know, there just isn't that community focus. Obviously, I've had to close down. I can't sell cars from my living room. It's just not a viable option. So I really am just spending this time looking at different strategies and ways of sort of getting through this point, but also what I'm going to do when we reopen the doors and what that might look like.
And what have you been thinking about? What are your lines? Because obviously we're getting updates every day from the government. We don't quite know if we're going to go into level 3 next week or when we'll be back in level 2. We've got no idea. So how are your strategies looking so far?
Yeah, so I'm basically just I'm really looking to focus on the local market. So what I class that as for my business is sort of Takapuna and the peninsula down to Devonport. That's most of my business now anyway. I really, have a lot of local repeat and referral business. But I basically am looking to sort of pivot my marketing and my advertising and my special offers to really reflect our area. So that's things like really trying to tap into the Navy base, where there are thousands of people who drive in and out of work every day. We've also got the Ryman Healthcare Village that, has thousands of residents, some of which still drive. So hopefully giving them just a nice local service. And what I mean by that is just doing things out of the ordinary. So, for example, the people who live in Ryman may be getting into their, older years. So instead of having to get them to come to me, it would be things like flipping that and taking cars to them, so they feel really comfortable. They don't have to sort of stress about getting a lift up the road or leaving, somewhere they feel safe and secure. So it's just things like that I'm trying to. I really think anyone in business is going to need to really start thinking outside of the box, because I don't think we're going to have this stream of business coming towards us. We're going to have to go out and find it.
So what I'm picking up then, Lewis, is that maybe in the sense we've been complacent for a period of time. We've been ticking along nicely. Customers have come to us and we've not had to reinvent ourselves at all. This is a time of crucial innovation and creativity. How can we reinvent ourselves? How can we strategize? And I was reading this morning that the real estate business has seen a big downturn in terms of billions of dollars of losses, because obviously you can't go out and do real estate. There's very little you can do virtually online. But then we hear that other people like egg farmers who are selling all their eggs to restaurants and cafes have now gone online. They're selling to individuals who don't want to go to supermarkets anymore. They want to stay protected at home. So is it crucial that people have that skill and innovation? What happens if you're not an innovator and maybe can't work online? I mean, that's a big struggle for a lot of people then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, not every business is going to suit working online. My business is one of them. I mean, of course, I do advertising and market online, but ultimately still, even in 2020, people like to get to know the person they're dealing with when they're buying a car. They want to touch, feel and drive the product before they make a decision. It's most people's largest purchase, maybe second behind a home. So it's a really important decision for a lot of families and people to make when they're buying a car. So I just think with other business though, if people really need to use use basically the strengths they already have. And that means if they've got a database of clients that they've already sold to, or they've already had dealings with, it's about taking those databases and just getting in touch with people saying, hey, we're still here, we're still going, not going anywhere, we're doing some really great special offers, are you needing to change this or update that or replace this, you know? Because there are still going to be people, I think it's too easy to focus on doom and gloom when you're a business owner and people going, oh, the economy's going to struggle, there's no money around, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Well, actually flip it on its head. There's thousands of families across New Zealand who would have saved and put money aside for big family holidays, $10,000, $20,000 that they can no longer spend. So that means they might change what they're going to spend that money on. And whether that be a used car, which would be good for me, or updating their kitchen, which would be good for a cabinet maker, there is still going to be money out there.
And I think I love what you said. And I think this time is a time for everybody to realize what's really important to them. And it is a time to hone in on your skills, find your strengths, find what works for you, but then also dig deep and find out new things about yourself. And as you're saying, this is a great time for businesses, because in the business world nowadays anyway, we cannot ever be complacent, can we? It's just not, because there's too much competition, there's too many other people out there. We cannot be complacent. We always need to offer great customer service. We can't just relax. We need to be one step ahead of the game, and we need to be delivering great product and great personality.
Absolutely. And it still blows my mind how many people in my industry, how many customers make the comment to me that they may have gone to a handful of dealers and have ended up at my place to look at a car and say, oh, you know, you've been so wonderful to deal with, you actually care, you know. And I'm like, well, surely everyone you've been to has given you the same sort of service, you know. And people get treated so poorly in all different areas of business. So it's really a time to focus on customer service, showing your point of difference to everyone else out there in the market, and showing what you can bring extra to the customer, whether that be home delivery, like you said, or giving a special offer to a particular group of people. Like, I'm really looking to hopefully offer some good discounts to our essential workers and military personnel who've been working really hard through this period to get us all sort of through it. It's just a matter of showing people that you're in it for the long game, you're going to be around, and that you really care for them.
And yes, we need to make money. Sorry, Sue. We need to make money, but we also have that compassionate part in our heart as well. And I think what lockdown has done, it's brought out what's important to us, and what is important is connection. And by extending that, as you say, the service, the customer service, it's just an extra point of connection, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. And hopefully from that, you also then get recommended and referred. That's kind of marketing that no amount of money you can pay for. It's about you coming in and having a really great experience, buying a great car, and then going home and someone saying, oh, see, you've got a nice new car. Yeah, I dealt with Lewis. He was amazing. If you ever need a car, go to him. He's a great guy. It's really just about building up that sort of repeat and honest, trustful business that are going to make people successful through this time.
And do you know what strikes me as well, Lewis, is actually being able to put a name to a face, because once we talk to you, we realise there's such a positive energy about you, and you've got such inspiring things to communicate in terms of, you know, the military's down the road, we've got the Navy in Devonport, we've got retirement homes. Where can you refocus? What can you take to those people, as opposed to what can I get for myself? Your message is, how can I serve that community? And I love the way you communicate it. And what struck me is that communication is so important at this time as well. If business owners can get online and communicate their message, what is their message? What is their philosophy on their business? How are they going to serve, as opposed to how they're going to survive? It's about meeting the climates where they're at. And then we're drawn into that business. We're drawn into, as Joe says, connection. We want relationship. And I think that's the one message that's come out to us as podcasters again and again, is that people want connection. That's what we miss. When we come out, we want to be connected with friends, family, community. We want to build a new community around us and have a sense of appreciation of what's there.
Absolutely. And, you know, the thing is that communication is key in any relationship, whether that be a partnership, whether that be a business relationship, a buying and selling relationship. Everything comes down to clear, open, honest communication. As soon as you start losing that, well, you can kiss that business goodbye. You know, it's not going to work. It's about being really clear about what you're able to offer your customers. And at the moment, and even when we get out of this, a lot of people have got a lot of stress on their plates, whether that be still having the kids at home from school, or being in the house full time with people 24 hours a day with their husbands and wives and partners. You know, there's a lot of stress and extra, extra stress to take on. So if someone from a business can offer to take a little bit of stress away, oh, my car's broken down, this is the last thing we need, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, I can come to you, I'll have a look at your broken car in the driveway, take this one overnight, see if you like it. If so, we can do it all via email. You don't need to worry about anything. You know, it's going to make people choose your business and the fact that you care about them and their family than going to someone else who's like, no, we sit here, we wait for your business, you come in or you don't, we don't care. You know, that's just not going to work.
I think with you, Lewis, as well, though, you bring such authenticity to the table. You know, you are authentic every single day of your life. You're a little shining light and it shines out. And I think that's amazing. And you know, we have lacked a bit of customer service here in this country. So the more people that can step up, the more people that will notice, because at the end of the day, we all like to be cared about. We all like to be made to feel special. And that's what great customer service does. It makes you feel really good inside. So it's such an important message to business owners. It's a time now to step up your game, realize how important your customers are, and to spread the love and to care.
Yeah. I think, you know, one thing I learned very early on, well, there are a couple of things, you know. First of all, so many people in business just focus on money or focus on price. Oh, we've got to be the cheapest. We've got to be, let's do this. And actually, you know what? That is not the case. Yes, there are a portion of people who will always buy on price. And that is absolutely fine. But more often than not, people don't just buy on price. They buy on the experience, especially when you're talking about buying a property or buying a car. It's about experience. And a lot of the little boutique businesses we have in Devonport are based on experience. You know, people go and buy a beautiful blouse or dress from a little boutique store and spend far more than they might spend in your generic retail stores, because they're getting a personalized service. They're dealing with the owner. There's someone there who's going to tell you, that looks fantastic, why don't you try this on? You know, and that's the difference, whether you're going to be successful or not. And the other thing, of course, is just really keeping an eye on your overheads and making sure that they are really, you know, lean and you're on top of them, so that whilst we are still building ourselves back up from this, you can still cover your bills.
So many important messages in there for our listeners who are involved in business, and actually even community who aren't involved in business, people sitting at home just wondering what's going on out there. But you talk about experience. Experience is really critical for all of us at this time. We're all having completely different experiences. I'd like to ask you a more personal question about your experience, because we've heard already that you are in your bubble, as we call it in New Zealand, and you are self-isolating on your own. How's that been?
Yeah, so I am on my own. I live on my own, have done for years, and most of the time when I'm at the business, I'm on my own as well. But I have a very large social life. I have lots of friends, and I love going out. But you know, the first couple of days, you know, I did struggle, and I thought, right, you know, how am I going to get through this? But I tell you, this has actually come as a godsend. I have focused on my own physical and mental health more than I have done for years. I'm out of the house every day, going for a walk or a jog or a run for at least an hour, getting some sun on my face. I'm speaking to people a lot more, like my friends overseas, my family, you know, with phone calls and FaceTime. I'm actually cooking and eating healthy. And I hope that I can take those new routines back into my work life, so that even when I have the stresses of running the business again, I'm still getting that exercise. I'm still coming home and cooking a meal. So I actually feel really fortunate for this time, because it's really a once in a lifetime opportunity. That's the way you've got to look at it. This is an opportunity. It is not a burden. It's an opportunity to spend time with your children that you never get to spend time with. Work on your relationship with your significant other. Focus on what you're going to do in the future. If there's any hobbies or projects that you've wanted to work on in your house, or, you know, figure out what the next steps are for your career, if those are things you want to focus on. This is a time we never, hopefully, you know, we probably will never get again. So it's just a time to really make some plans.
Oh, Lewis, that is such an amazing message. So positive, and probably what a lot of people need to hear right now, because week 3 has definitely been a tough one for a lot of people. You know, I see people walking on the beach and that people are not doing their usual big booming hellos this week. It's a little bit of a down week. So we really appreciate your messages to business and on a personal message as well. That was really, really inspiring, and just a little bit of sunshine that we needed to see right now and hear.
No worries.
Hey Lewis, thank you so much for coming on board. I'm going to take so much from it. I think the biggest message which Joe and I always put across is that we try and re-empower people no matter what situation they're in. And you are so positive, and you're talking about opportunities in this lockdown period rather than seeing this time as being a burden. There's so much we can take from this. We love what you're wearing. For those of you that listen to a podcast as opposed to seeing you on YouTube, bright, beautiful, matches your smiley face, and I'm so impressed. It looks like there's not a single crease in it. You must have been ironing.
Yes, I did get up early and iron a shirt for this special occasion.
Love it. Thank you so much for your time today. Good luck when the business reopens, and we'll definitely be giving you a wave, and we'll come and visit you when you're all back on your feet again.
Cool, thanks very much.